Alright, so welcome back. We are out here in the garage again. But we got some heads for the 2-valve. So, that is something interesting. Let me tell you a tale of jacked up heads. Our heads were jacked up, had some trash, ate the cam, messed up the cam retaining pieces, whatever you want to call them, cam caps, kind of shredded them. So our heads were kind of no good. Also snapped a couple bolts off in them. So all in all, that would kind of suck. So I headed to the internet to try to find some decent heads. First set I found on eBay. They looked pretty decent. Asked the guy quite a few questions. Seemed decent enough. So I ordered a set, had them shipped in, and as I was swapping out the springs, we got some videos of doing that here that will kind of B-roll into this mess. But I was swapping them out and then noticed the camshaft looked a little bit jacked. So it had some deep grooves in it that weren't on the caps, which were kind of interesting. Don't know if it was just they swapped out the wrong cams, put the wrong cams in there, or if they had a good set of cams that they kept for something else, swapped around, rob Peter, pay Paul type of thing. But all in all, those cams looked a little jacked, so I kind of asked him what was up with that. And he pretty much said, what the heck are you doing taking anything apart? You're not supposed to look at anything. F you, I don't know what you messed up in there. Yada yada, blah blah. Back and forth. Eventually, he just threw a fit and said, send them back. I mean, I would have made a deal with him. Hey, knock a couple bucks off. Then you don't have to pay for return shipping. But he paid for return shipping. Sent me all my money back, so he ate shipping both directions. Easily, probably $100 he wasted on that. He could have just saved that $100, knocked another $100 off, given me $200 back, and I probably would have been further along. But anyways, his set had jacked up cams. Cam caps weren't too bad, but all the little lifter guys, his looked like they were all brand new pieces, but they looked like those cheapos off of Amazon that you get for like $70. So that was a little bit suspect. And then the cam followers, these little wonderful spinner guys that opens your valves and interfaces with that guy. There were a couple of them that the bearing wheel would not turn at all. And you had to take it out, wiggle around. Then it would somewhat spin, but it would catch and lock up. So, didn't like that either. So, lucky for me, that went back. Of course, I had to pull all my springs back out and carry on from there. Then I attempted another company that does rebuilt heads. This one was quite a bit cheaper, so that kind of helped out. But when you tear into it, the cams that were sent with them, they looked relatively smooth, but when you put them in and started rotating the camshaft, you could feel the tension like loosen and then tighten back up again, then loosen and tighten back up. So I'm gonna suspect that he ran his cam on the polisher and kind of ground it down to a smooth surface, but in doing so, opened up a lot of the clearances. So that sketched me out on theirs. The part that also sketched me out is their lifter set. When you started messing around with them, you could get the oil to come out, and that oil was black. That showed you that these were straight out of whatever 150,000 mile engine they had. And if you ever have any of these guys that tick, that is the core source of the problem. So, we're set with another set of heads that aren't quite right. But with this one at the price point that it is, I figured I can get this thing rolling and working pretty decent. So, let's come on over here. I've already swapped out the valve springs, so we can just carry on from that point. Alright, so what I ended up doing is I found a listing for brand new camshafts. So these are brand new stock camshafts that I got in, that I put in here, and they spin perfectly in here. So that makes me happy. So anyways, get this guy set aside. Make sure it doesn't run away. We're gonna have to get some gloves going again. So, anyways, these set, they look kind of weird. They got some weird, like, porous holes in the journals. So I'm guessing the journals got welded up and then reground. But, you know, what I can guess doesn't really matter. It's got a surface that smooth enough for what we're going for. And then I got some brand new lifter guys. Give them the old lube and coat. Good enough. Feels good to me. Slap them in. And then we got our follow set. These are a slightly different style. These are actually off of, or for, the Ford GT, and like GT 500 uses some of these guys. The biggest thing with them is you've got a deeper hole that retains up in here, and then the oil hole back here actually points towards the cam. So that actually increases your oil pressure in these guys, and lube them up. So it increases oil pressure and increases oil getting to places that you want oil to get to, which for engines is always a good idea. And just for good measure, I'm gonna make sure we get a dab inside every one of these. Actually, we probably should get a dab on the valve side too. All right, there we go. Let's add some lube to all of our journal faces here. Just lube up everything in here. Why? Because we can. Looks pretty good to me. There we go, that's the direction I was aiming for. Okay, got plenty of. Let's add just a dab to each one of these on the top side. All right, so we got the second set all lined up. Everything's in, good to fly. We should be good for another 100,000 miles on this thing, at least. Anyways, one of the other weird things that I wanted to kind of note with this is it's kind of weird how they spray everything down with some sort of paint. I half wonder if that's because certain people might have been suspicious that they didn't do anything to head or something if they left it natural. So I think they just like hose them all down to kind of show off that it was cleaned and whatever. But looks like we got an arrow pointing at this thing, which probably means that that spark plug hole had an issue. Let's go take a look-see. And we have a winner here. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get a remanufactured set, is if there was any problem with the spark plug holes, they would have already replaced them and fixed them. So we got some speed certs, time certs, or whatever you want to call them in there. This guy's a little rough. Let's give her the old wire wheel buffer special. There we go, knock off those sharp edges from where they machined the hole in it. Good enough. Let's put this guy away. Alright, there's that guy all tagged and bagged. Now we've got a semi-performance head. Basically a stock head with some better goodies in there. So we can set that aside. And we did do an inspection on the block. I did kind of clean it up, scrub it down, take a look at everything. We were kind of jacked with some of those cylinders that took the valve to it. So we need to send that guy out for machining. I kind of took the opportunity to test out how to do some honing because if you got to knock that out to 20 thousandths, who cares if you run an extra thousandths with the hone. So that means new pistons for that setup, so we can get that thing knocked out 20 over, and we should be back on the road. Crank looks good, everything else looks good, so shouldn't be too big of a holdup, except our machine shops around here are giving out the FU price, so I gotta keep looking around to see if there's one that doesn't give you the FU price. It's like we got a lot of agriculture around here, so everyone's got like tractor stuff and irrigation junk that they're rebuilding on that type of stuff, so they charge them out the nose. So if you want to get your personal stuff in for a reasonable price, good luck. Anyways, that's pretty much going to do it for this one. So the Ford's going to have to go on hold until I get that stuff back, but we got more Hemi stuff that we can move forward with and go on from there. Anyways, thanks for stopping by and watching. Hopefully, we'll see you again later.